Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ginger Wade. It is, what time is it? Where's my clock? 12:08, and this is Chattin with CHAP. We are doing another interview today about STEM, learning a little bit about STEM and how to make that work in your homeschool, which is really exciting. But before we get started on that topic of the day, I just wanted to remind you all that convention is coming, guys. It is like 10 days away, I think, 10 days till convention, which is really exciting. I did let you know last Friday that it was the last day to register online. So there's no more online registration, but you can come to the door. So if you're still undecided about whether or not to come to the door, you can register at the door. It's no worries at all. And I did mention that UCS had until June 2nd to register. I just learned yesterday that it is actually June 4th. So 2 extra days there to get your used curriculum logged into the system if you're planning on selling at convention. So it will end at midnight on June 4th. So June 5th will be too late. So if you want to sell curriculum, you want to get in there and start registering your books now. So do not delay. And we can't wait to see you all there. It's going to be so great to be back together again and just be rejuvenated together at convention. So without further ado, I'm going to let Anita tell us a little bit about herself, and then we will get into talking about STEM a little bit. So Anita, let's share about yourself with our listeners, watchers.
Hello, everyone. I am Anita Narayan. Thank you, Ginger, for giving me this fun opportunity to talk about how we homeschool. I've been homeschooling for 8+ years now, and what we've seen work for our family is doing a lot of experiential learning, doing projects and learning. And we've used STEM a lot in our homeschool journey. So I thought it would be fun to share some of that and share the knowledge that we've gained through our experience.
Oh, that is really great. And you know what? I wonder if, I guess we'll find out as we talk through this stuff, but maybe some of us out here are doing some STEM things and we don't even know it.
Exactly. I think that's the key, where you are having so much of fun learning that you don't think it's serious or hard. And that's what I want to share about STEM today. Maybe you're already doing a lot of it. You don't call it that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's really good stuff. So first of all, people might be sitting out there going, what are they talking about? What is STEM? I don't even understand what this topic means. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And what it does is it's an integrated way of learning something in a holistic and deep way. I can give you an example. We are all very familiar with the dandelions that grow in our backyard. And while most of us see it as a weed, some of us might be surprised to know that you can cook dandelion. It's an edible flower. We use it a lot in fritters and cookies, and that calls for a fun experiment that we do. But if you notice the dandelion, the way the petals are arranged, you see that it follows a pattern, and a pattern that's very similar to what you'd see in an acorn seed, how it forms the spiral. And if you were to wonder, why is it that way? Why does this particular flower have it that way? I'm going to move this chat over. I want you to see. It's a pattern that nature has found to be most effective to organize a lot of seeds, right? So that's why the dandelion is able to grow everywhere. As much as we don't want it to. But the thing with it is, now what you're learning is there are patterns, and patterns that have a root in mathematics. And if you go and learn about this pattern, it's called a Fibonacci series. And you'll see that nature repeats this pattern in seashells in many different places. So now, just from your garden weed, you made a connection to math and cooking. And what was even more interesting as I was learning about the dandelion is the sunflower is very similar to the dandelion, but you don't see it spreading like the dandelion, right? But for the dandelion, you see how the seeds take off and they fly. There have been scientists who are studying how these seeds fly so they can make sensors to float out there to study the environment. So there is a very special way that these seeds are taking off and flying that's unique to the dandelion. And what was another cool fact was there was engineering happening. They found that the stem of the dandelion has natural latex with which you can make rubber.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so just a small thing like a flower has so much imagination and inspiration that people have taken to make things that are useful to our society. And in a way, they've done STEM with it, right?
Yeah, so dandelions aren't so bad.
Yeah, exactly. If nothing, you can eat them for a good snack when your kids are bugging you for mommy. Give me a snack.
Yeah, there you go. Here's your natural snack. It's
That's
good for
right.
you.
Yeah. So I would say it's 4 different things that make a particular subject holistic to learn. There is science involved, there's technology, there's engineering and math, and that's what STEM is made of.
Okay, that's fascinating. And you know what? I love to see the like you said, the patterns and the shells and the dandelions and sunflowers and you know, God uses pattern over and over again to ties everything together, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love stuff like that. So I can see the value in that, you know, if you're studying how to use a dandelion, how to use the poof to make things, you know, fly, sensors and that type of thing. But what about like our little children? So you have, you know, kindergartners to 5th graders. Why would it be helpful to teach this type of stuff that early? I mean, obviously our little ones aren't going to be building sensors to float through the air, but you know.
Yeah. I would say children when they come into existence, they have so much curiosity of things around them. And we don't teach them to walk. We don't teach them to talk or to understand feelings. They observe so much and they learn. And at that time, they're not calculating how many times it took them to stand up, or they're not crying over, oh my God, I fell down 20 times before I could walk, right? That growth mindset is something we come with, but over time, there becomes an expectation for education to be more output oriented. We somehow become very rigid in how we should learn. We lose that growth mindset, which is so important if you see all the things that the world is creating right now. Medicine takes forever to make, right? All these inventions that are useful for humanity, they don't just go right the first time. Years and years of experimenting. So I think the school system makes it a little more rigid for us to provide that opportunity for experimentation and for us to be, it's okay if you do something 30 times before you get it right. I think STEM gives you that playground to say, I'm going to learn this. It doesn't matter if I don't get it right the first time, because no one else does that are really working in the field. But I'm going to build that resiliency, that grit, and the desire to keep learning as I go. And I think that's why we already have it before we can lose it. If you can make that their mindset, I think it really will help them do difficult things as they, you know, go into 5th grade and beyond.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's like you were saying, that grit. And there's so many folks now who just don't, it's got to be easier. I don't want to do it, you know, but we need to learn, you know, if we learn that, we say Thomas Edison this year.
Oh,
but talk about someone who's messed up a lot, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I want them to know that that's the norm.
Mhm.
Getting it right the first time is not the norm, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then when he found something that worked, he didn't stop there. He worked to make it better.
Yes,
So and that's another part of it. You figure it out and then you figure out what will make it work better. So it's just this whole growth, and you don't instantaneously know things, right? It just takes
yes,
a lot of time. And that's a wonderful, that is a wonderful mindset. Yeah, it's such a shame where the imagination gets shut down, or you don't feel
yeah,
like reading anymore, or whatever. It's just not fun anymore because it's all about getting the worksheet done or the
yeah.
assignment done or whatever.
And I
Yeah,
think as homeschoolers, we have a little more flexibility in how we can tailor that to what the
absolutely.
child is able to enjoy and lead from
Mhm,
there, instead
mhm.
of follow the rigidity of what
Yeah.
has to apply to a classroom to get
Mhm.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So this it's a really good mindset to have. So how would you start to integrate STEM into your homeschool? Like if you're not doing this now, and we're sitting here watching you and we're going, "Oh my goodness, this sounds good, but I'm not doing this." Like how do I even get started with that?
Um, I would say that once you start wanting to do STEM, you will find resources. We've found a lot of free resources that we've used in our homeschooling journey,
Mhm.
and we try to make it something that is connected to a project or a real world experience. One channel that we enjoyed watching is called The Secret Millionaires Club. It's a YouTube channel with it was actually a book. I think Mr. Warren Buffett helped bring that together, where you're teaching children math in a very realistic way. But if your child
Mhm.
wants to, let's say, start a small lemonade stand, what you
Mm.
want know in that there is the science of creating your lemonade. There is
Mhm.
math involved in what all you need to be able to sell it.
Mhm.
And he does this with many examples of what if you want to, for example, do a pet sitting business, or you
Mhm.
want to start something small in your community, like a lawn mowing business. What would you
Mhm.
do? That's I would say, practical, useful
Mhm.
mathematics.
Mhm.
And to lay the foundation of math when they're young becomes the foundation for a lot of things that they can then learn quite easily.
Mhm.
Khan Academy is a free resource for math
Mhm.
where they teach you the nuts and bolts of the math, and there are a lot
Mhm.
of tests that you can take. Our family uses that a lot to get through math because we
Mhm.
don't remember a lot of the high school math that we learned.
Yeah, how about it?
Yeah. And you don't have to go finding a tutor. Well, if that works, that's fine. But there are free resources, like I said. But to make it as realistic, real world as possible, I think will allow us to connect to, okay, this is useful to me.
Yes,
And then,
yes.
I see merit in wanting to do more of it. That would
Mhm.
be the way to go.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've also found some really good magazines
Hmm.
for science. It's called Nano. There's nanotechnology. These are really tiny particles
Mhm.
that we
Mhm.
find in everything, right from batteries to cosmetics to
Mhm.
most of our appliances use it. So the government has created, small, I would say, two-page magazine about what is it? Where do we use this particular technology
Oh,
in the
okay.
real world? Who
Yeah.
are the scientists who are working on this? So maybe you can even reach out to them and look
Yeah.
for opportunities to get some inspiration. They've
Yeah.
interviewed
That's
them, so
interesting.
there's a lot of free resources that are available. PBS has something on coding where they're doing story time, but they're also teaching children how to write code for the
Hmm.
episode that they watched. So
Mhm.
it's all it becomes contextual, so it's easier to be able to relate to it than, okay, this is a subject that I have to grasp from a textbook and take
Yeah,
an
yeah.
exam, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so any way that you can turn it into something interesting or make it valuable, right? Right. And getting
Yes,
comfortable with math is so important. And
yes,
so many people are afraid of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So finding ways to, make it real. I think about economics popped into my head too when you were talking about the lemonade stand and all those types of
Yes.
things. And then that, that all comes together. You're learning about more than just the science part of it, but there's, economics is a whole nother, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Supply and demand and stuff. So that's great. That's really good. So I see there, it says where to find free STEM resources. You mentioned some things, and I see this is your website at the bottom of the screen, right?
Yes.
So you can go check that out, do stemwithmsdandy.com. And honestly, probably if you just go do some searching, right? If you do some Google searching, whatever, you'll be able to find resources out there, right? If you're typing a specific thing up.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just a maze there. But then if you have specific interest, then to go and look for it like that. For example, stock market game is a free resource where your children will learn how to invest in the stock market. And then I think towards the end of the lesson, it's organized by grade level. And then you can actually go to the New York Stock Exchange and see how they're doing something. So I think if you have a particular interest in mind,
Yeah.
when you do a targeted search, you might find more resources around it.
Yeah. So in other words, moms, don't be afraid to go out there and just search around for things. I mean, if there's something your child is interested in, just search on it and see what comes up. There's tons of stuff out there. So much stuff out there. So also, so if you're really into STEM or whatever, and you'd like to develop your skills, right, in helping the community, how would you do that? Like are there events or competitions or things that you can do to put what you've learned to use?
Yeah, so we used to attend what's called maker fairs, much like you have the CHAP conventions for homeschooling. There are fairs where there's a lot of DIY people sharing their knowledge with the community to grow, I guess, interest in building things with your hand. And we used to attend a lot of those and be active in that community to learn what we saw, but also to teach what we'd learned and make some good connections there, because your children could also have the opportunity to give a talk about something that they're interested in. That becomes another thing that they can cultivate, which is public speaking.
Yes.
I would say one project we worked on, we had a lot of fun, was with our zoo. We saw that they were doing certain things manually, and we thought it would be a nice way to help them automate that. So even though my son had no knowledge how to make a particular app, he took it upon himself as a project to be able to learn that and work with the zoo to see if he can solve something for them. I think our community is full of these little opportunities where we can do something and learn from it. And there are competitions that encourage that. There's one called the Paradigm Challenge that has specific topics that they want children to create some solutions for every year. I think one year it was about how do we prevent fires, because this organization is based out of California, where fires are a pretty common thing. So they had that one year. Another year was about food. How do we grow? How can we be more self-sufficient towards the food we grow? So they keep coming up with new topics for children to find solutions for. The other one is the Smithsonian. They have a innovation center called Lemelson Center, and they do yearly challenges for, again, very similar to how can you use your imagination to solve a particular problem. The third one, which is very interesting, is the Chicago Toy and Game Fair. They have a whole curriculum for you to be able to follow along through the year and come up with an innovative game that you can post on their site to get reviews from toy makers. And if they like your idea, then they will be able to help you bring it to market. So all these things, are free. You don't pay for any of this, but you find the resources to learn how to create something that would be useful to your community.
That is really awesome. So there's like, as you look around you when you're out there, moms, and you're with your kids and you see that, oh, there's got to be a better way to do that or something. I mean, you can like brainstorm and come up with something, and they might not be, but whoever you're helping might not even be thinking about making their thing better. It might be a completely new thought or idea for them, but you can really, I don't know, make your community a better place and serve in that way. That's really awesome to be thinking outside the box that way. And those, I mean, just working in that kind of way is such a good learning experience, because you're working with people, you're talking to people, like you said, there's giving presentations and being able to speak well to other people. So important. Communication is so important.
Absolutely.
And I know we're all terrified to speak in front of people to some level or degree, but it is good, especially to get kids used to that early, you know, and then it's not such a wall or a thing to overcome as they get older. So this is really great. These are really good ideas, really good reasons to have STEM included into your school or guiding your school. So hopefully this has been helpful to everybody out there. Now, do you have some resources or ideas for people out there that you want to share?
I do. So I have my curriculum that we've done for over 8 years. So I've documented resources for the state, and I'll be happy to share that. If you can comment below saying you're interested, I'll be able to share that with you, send it over to you. Yeah.
Okay. So anyone who's interested for more information, just comment below on our video, and Anita will get in touch with you. And I'm so glad that you came on, Anita. This was a really good conversation, and it was good. Sometimes we just need to, like, I don't know, have someone help us think outside the box better, right? And
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed being here. Thank you.
So everybody, I hope you enjoyed our episode about STEM. If you have any questions, like we said, comment below and we'll be happy to talk with you about them. And hopefully we will be seeing y'all at convention. And until then, it is the last day of May. So hopefully you're in full summer mode, just relaxing and enjoying everybody without the pressures of school. Hopefully we don't ever have pressures of school. Hopefully we enjoy our learning together. But I do hope that you are enjoying this time. It is hot where we are. So
90+ degrees here.
Yes, it is definitely in summer. Well, for this day, I think in 2 days, it's going to be 20 degrees colder. Oh, we'll take it as it comes. So anyway, thank you for coming on the show, Anita.
Thank you, Ginger. I wish you an amazing convention.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, everyone, we will see you next time. I actually don't have anyone scheduled for my next video, so I will come on and chat with you in another week or so. So we'll see you later. Take care.